Yellowstone has kept me hooked for years, but let's admit it, there's something about diving into its past that makes the experience even richer, which is why the prequels will always have a special place in my heart. And now, 1923 is finally back with Season 2. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I can't even begin to explain how much I've missed this show. And with everything that happened in Episode 1, I can already feel the storm brewing for Episode 2. So, let's talk about it. We all know that it's been a long road for Spencer Dutton. Last season, he fought his way across Africa to get back home, only to be pulled into even more chaos before he could even set foot in Montana. In Episode 1 of Season 2, he's still stuck at sea, and as if things couldn't get worse, he ends up killing his wife's former fiancé in a duel. Just like that, one more body is on his hands. He barely has time to process it before he finds himself trapped on a criminal-infested tugboat, trying to make enough money to get home. And because nothing is ever easy for a Dutton, he gets pulled into a brutal fistfight to earn some cash. Like, is it just me, or is every time we think Spencer has faced his worst battle yet, something even more violent comes his way? I mean, I genuinely feel bad for this guy. Though, I have to admit that the cage fight-like atmosphere was pretty badass, and made me think of Fight Club, which is always a welcomed surprise. Recently, Brandon Sklenar has talked about how much he's looked forward to this season, saying, "I've been waiting for this for a couple years now. I'm just excited to get it out there. I'm really proud of it, and I know people are going to love it. It's well worth the wait." Sheridan wrote something really special, and everyone involved was at the top of their game. We all care deeply about it, and I'm sure you can feel that in it. And honestly, feel free to disagree with me, but personally, even from the first episode alone, I do feel it. The way Spencer's journey is unfolding is nothing short of cinematic in my eyes. Meanwhile, Alexandra is back in England, and I can feel her desperation through the screen. She's running out of time, she's pregnant, and she knows she has to get to Spencer before it's too late. She sells her jewels, books passage to America, and sets out on her own, determined to reunite with the man she left everything for. "I know not the path, nor the manner with which I will find my way to you," she writes in a letter to Spencer. "But it is time the journey begin." She's all in, and I can't help but root for her every step of the way. But knowing this show, there's no way her journey is going to be smooth sailing. Still, I'm glad that our predictions came through in the pregnancy reveal, and I feel like she will come across with Spencer in her journey. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see her getting on Spencer's ship. Wouldn't that be amazing? Back in Montana, the Dutton Ranch is covered in snow, and danger is lurking in every corner. Jacob is still trying to recover from the wounds he got last season, but he barely has time to breathe before another threat arrives. This time, in the form of a mountain lion prowling right outside their door. He stares it down, gun in hand, but it's Kara who takes matters into her own hands. The next morning, she steps outside, shotgun in hand, and puts the lion down. I mean, I've never been a fan of seeing animals being killed on screen. That being said, this was the only chance Kara had, and yes, it showed that things will get even more brutal for the Duttons. The wolves are waiting, and the Duttons are ready to hunt already. And then there's of course Teonna Rainwater. You didn't think I would forget about her, right? Last season, I watched her fight tooth and nail to escape that horrific boarding school. But even after everything she's been through, she's still not safe. Father Renault and Marshall Kent are hunting her down with a vengeance, killing anyone who stands in their way. It's stomach-churning to watch, especially knowing that these horrors were real for so many Native children in history. But Teonna is a survivor. She's with her father, runs his horse, and Pete Plenty Clouds, and for the first time, there's a glimmer of hope. She and Pete share a moment that feels like the start of something bigger, something that could lead all the way to the Rainwater lineage we all know from Yellowstone, aka Thomas Rainwater. By the way, how many of you guys realized the node to Cole brings Plenty's memory in the beginning of the episode? I really appreciated it, and it once again broke my heart to see that we lost such a young, talented man. Still, I believe the show did a good job in keeping his memory alive. Now, onto the man that I truly do not want to talk about at all. Of course, it's none other than Donald Whitfield, who might just be the most despicable villain this franchise has ever seen. As if it weren't bad enough that he's trying to take the Dutton ranch, this episode makes it painfully clear that he's also involved in sex trafficking. It's disturbing, it's infuriating, and it makes me wonder just how dark this season is going to get. Every time I think I've seen the worst of him, he somehow manages to sink even lower. But let me know what you think of A. And of course, there's Banner Crichton, who's still lurking around, waiting for his next opportunity to strike. To me, he and Whitfield are two sides of the same coin, both dangerous, both power-hungry, and both determined to destroy the Duttons. Between them, the wolves outside and the battles Spencer is fighting just to make it home, the Duttons are surrounded on all sides. I don't know about you guys, but with everything that happened in this episode, I can already see the pieces falling into place for episode 2. Spencer is still a long way from Montana, but I know he won't stop fighting until he gets there. Alexandra is making her way across the ocean, but will she even make it before something, or someone, gets in her way? The hunt for Teonna is far from over, and I can only hope she stays ahead of the men chasing her. And the Duttons are gearing up for war, whether they want to or not. Jacob is still wounded, but he knows there's no time to rest. Kara is stepping up in ways that show just how strong she really is. The looming threat of Whitfield and Crichton is growing, and the Duttons will have to make their move before they get completely overpowered. For more weekly updates and analysis on 1923 Season 2, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.